We are back, guys. Welcome to this preview. I've got Matt to my left.
Hello.
It is Blackpool on Saturday. How do you feel about going into it, especially after this international break?
Well, it seems like forever, doesn't it? It seems like a long time, and you got to kind of reset the compass and remember it's like we're all happy about everything before this enforced break, and hopefully pick up where we left off, basically. So, but you have to kind of motivate yourself to recapture how we felt a week and a half ago, whatever it was. So hopefully we can pick up.
Oh yeah, I do agree. I mean, it seems like ages as well since we've been at it.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I know. I hate these international breaks. I really do. Get rid of them as soon as possible.
Yeah, sooner the better.
Yeah.
It's the two informed sides as well in the championship at the minute. I mean, Blackpool, none of us wouldn't have expected them to be flying at the minute.
No, I don't think so. But the players have had a little break. I gather a lot of them have been given the first time off for a long time. So hopefully that's good. And they would have gone off in a good mood. And they'll come back. And hopefully, like I say, the crowd will be up for it and everything. And, we can keep the train on the tracks and full steam ahead still.
Oh, definitely. Plus, as well, I've got the Audra now and Dad who have been training. So it'd be like two new signings and a lot more options that we wouldn't have had before the international break.
Yeah, that's right. And we didn't have really any injuries, did we? But we'll have everyone available, and hopefully Cooper's had more time to work with them. Often it can be a negative thing. You almost think when they have too long to think about stuff, but we'll see. I mean, Cooper continues to do everything right, so let's hope he's been doing everything right during the 2 weeks. Let them have their break. They've come back, and they've got a few little tricks up their sleeve come Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, people spoke to the fans the other day, and everyone seemed to be like really high about it. I mean, it just fell on the night of the polymorphing as well, so.
Yeah, no, everyone who I've spoken to that went seemed to be very impressed by him. Like I say, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Didn't you get an invite?
No.
I know. You're too edgy. Too edgy. It was all the middle of the road ones that got the invites. But anyway, everyone was impressed by him. I think it was an excellent move to do that kind of thing for sure, because we're all on the same team, and another good initiative from him. Keep going basically until I'd be interested to see when he does hit the bumps, because apparently at the meeting he was going on about it's not going to be, it's going to be a roller coaster up and down all over the place, and inevitably it will be. But as long as we have a positive approach, that's the main thing, isn't it? I don't know about you, but that's all I want to see is us going into battle, fighting for the 90 minutes, win, lose or draw. Feel like you gave it your best shot.
No, definitely. It's nice to be positive as well about it all. So
yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah, and he seemed really enamoured with the job, which hopefully every football manager is enamoured with their job, but they don't say it very often, and it takes something to be honest enough to come out and say it. And so he's kind of put his neck on the line. But I think honesty is a good policy, so I think it's very refreshing.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously with Saturday as well. I mean, both Crawley, I think the manager, or I might be pronouncing it right, and Stevie Cooper, obviously, being both being youth coaches as well. I mean, it'd be the battle of youth near enough on Saturday, but it is quite refreshing instead of seeing like old past players that passed it.
Well, yeah. Well, anything would have been better than the last year. It was interesting. I saw the under-23s got a bit of a pasting a couple of nights ago, and a lot of the players seem to be missing. I don't know whether there's any significance in that, like I know it's back and forward and a few of the others.
I did actually do that.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was because they just kind of didn't want to stay in the cup, and they didn't mind giving a few people. Obviously with the under 23s, you want to rotate and give everyone a chance, which is good. But they brought up some of the under 18s, and you wonder if it was maybe the 23s are more involved with the first team, which again is kind of interesting. I mean, maybe we're making up a load of nonsense about nothing, but you've got to think that there's something behind it. The 23s are playing more with the first 11 in training, perhaps. Or we might see some of them more around the fringes of the squad or whatever in the future. So yeah, it's encouraging. And okay, you get knocked out of the cup, but some 18s get some valuable experience, and you carry on, and hopefully it's a bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, I know people have been talking quite a lot about Forner at the minute with him being like long term being in that first team. So it does make you question with him not being in Tuesday's game or Monday when they're playing.
Yeah.
Will he be involved in that there?
He's a hell of a player. I mean, he hardly puts a foot wrong. He's a fantastic player, and they're saying now, the end of the season, his contract's up. Now, I mean, that's true of a lot of probably under 23 players. I don't think he's, fishing for a move or anything, but we need to find out if he's any good or not, don't we? At some point, and so. Personally, I think you've got to give him you've got to give him a contract for a couple of years or something, and start to say, right, you obviously will be too old for the 23s. He'll be in the senior squad, and he'll be looking to, if not take over from the likes of Colback now, definitely in the next year or two as they get older. So who knows? Maybe he's already thinking ahead like that, and he's going to start weaning him into the team. But as you know, we've got a big squad, haven't we? So there's, it's difficult.
I mean, there's that competition as well for that central midfield. I mean, you got Colback, you got Yates, you got Odger, you got Garner as well. You got Forner, so there's that quite a lot of competition, which is quite nice.
Yeah, well, like I say, now when you start winning games, you don't want to drop. You can't drop any of them, really. I mean, you're going to say who you think's going to play, and I think you can't really see him dropping anyone unless someone twist their ankle in training or something. It's basically going to be the same team. And Colback had his chance. He's obviously impressed. People like Garner are going to find it hard to get back in. And even though I'm not like typically Yates' biggest fan, he's been playing his best football, so he doesn't deserve to be dropped at all. That's for sure. And I'd like to see a Jada, especially, and the likes of Forner. So. As well as Garner. So now you're spoilt for choice, and some players you actually think should be well up for being deserving a place aren't going to get a game, are they? Because everyone spent the end of last season, the beginning of this season, saying how awful our squad is, and it's terrible. It's all turned around, isn't it, now? And it's like they're all good, and you can't really see dropping any of them. You get the two beneficiaries have obviously been Colback and Figueiredo, hasn't it? With the change of the formation, he's gone from someone who, he's finished, he's no good. He's outstanding now. He's one of the best players we've got in the team, and he's integral to the whole thing. And if he picks up an injury, we've got problems then, haven't we?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Figueiredo, even though he's been like doing some Euro in this back three, because obviously Walls and McKenna obviously been playing well, and Figueiredo can go on about his business and probably outdo them. So in a different way.
I just came back from the post office, the Sherwood post office, and apparently he was in there yesterday, Figs, and he made a good impression at the post office as well. He was sending some stuff out. So, it's a small world. This is like living in Nottingham, the Disneyland of football. But, he's had his career. He was basically on the scrap heap, told don't bother coming back, stay in Portugal. And now, he's key, isn't he? And likewise with Colback. So, it's good. It's encouraging. The door should be open for anyone, and let them all get in on merit. And if they get dropped, get back in the team. When their opportunity arises.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know you're a fan of Colback anyway. I mean, I've always been told about it by Luke. I mean, when I did see the team against Birmingham, and I was like, oh, take it. It wasn't a gamble, but I thought, oh, we're playing Colbert. Obviously, must be doing something like that. I mean, then he's gone on to playing with the Yates in that midfield, which obviously did really well.
It's all about the blend, though, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter who you have. If you can have the greatest player in the world, you put him in the wrong position and start, to play the wrong way. You've got to try and make the best of the team as a whole, and that's all that matters. And Colback's not a glamour player by any stretch of imagination, but I think he helps other players play. And so you never pick him for anything flashy he's going to do, but I'd always pick him to let all the others have much more freedom and hopefully the whole team work. So that's what the manager has to decide. And the blend of the midfield is so important. It's working at the moment, but his creativity is all coming from the fullbacks and the wide positions, really, isn't it? And we've somehow managed to engage the centre forward, Grab and whoever it is, a little bit more. So it's kind of all connecting up like it wasn't before, based on those three centre halves. So it's okay, it isn't broken, but it'd be nice if we had a heart of the midfield which could really function, whatever it is, whether it's a diamond or whatever, two defenders and a couple of, glamour, number 10 or whatever you do.
Yeah, completely. I do actually agree with that. And the fullbacks have been the massive part as well. I mean, we're going to be up against Gabriel on Saturday as well, which obviously.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, Spence took his place as well, and we've not looked back really since Gabriel gone. I mean, it will be a very interesting battle between Lowe and Gabriel on Saturday.
Yeah, well, our fullbacks have played out their skin, haven't they? I mean, realistically, they can't keep playing this well. So, they'll be picked up by Premier League clubs in January, won't they? At this rate, but they're playing out their skins at the moment. How much that's to do with the approach, the formation, their pure, ability, I don't know. But we'll see. Like Cooper says, there's going to be ups and downs, and we're going to learn more about them in time. But so far, 10 out of 10 on their sort of homework. They've done fantastically well, haven't they? You can't really see much wrong with them at all. I thought Spence was a little bit flaky defensively the first game or two I saw, but that was more based on sort of how he looked or sort of, the impression he gave, but really he's not put a foot wrong. Neither have. So, mighty impressed by them.
Definitely. What would your scoreline have been on Saturday?
Well, like you say, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? It's not the easiest one to kind of predict. I'd like to think you could say 2-0 to us, and it won't be far from the truth. I'll say 2-0 to us. We seem to have the balance right, don't we? We're keeping the clean sheets and we're scoring a goal or two. So, we've ridden our luck a little bit, but let's say 2-0. What's your prediction?
Man was 2-0. Well, man was 2-1 actually. I said earlier.
2-1. Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll score. I think we'll score a couple. I mean, Graben's sitting for man, which is nice, and I think he will carry on with this goal scoring streak that he has got.
Yeah. Well, it's not rocket science, is it? If you give him chances, he will score. It will be the exception when it's like, oh, he had a few chances and he didn't score. If you give him a few good chances in the game, he'll score 1 or 2 or 3 if you're lucky. And he had nothing for a whole year, and he's going to look, he's going to look crap. But then you start giving him chances, he'll score a percentage of them. He'll score a good percentage of them because he always has done. Whether he's quite as fast or whether he's quite as fit as he was, and it's a virtuous circle, isn't it? Because he'll score a goal, and then he'll want to score another. He'll start shooting from 30 yards and stuff like this, which he would never have done before. So, that's what a positive approach gives you, isn't it? And that's what we've seen the benefit of. So it's all too simple. It's all too out of a book right now. It's like, this is what happens if you do the right things, and it's all worked out. You just know there's going to be bumps in the road too. But let's see how we handle those.
Yeah, completely. So I'd like to say thank you to Matt for coming on.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, thanks, Dan. And let's keep the show on the road on Saturday.
Yeah, so I like to catch him, but Des.